It's no secret that Japan loves RPGs. Seriously, the country just couldn't get enough of them. So much so that back in 1988, a large portion of the population was calculated as having mysteriously called out of work on the day of Dragon Quest III's release.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more
RPGs.
With RPG fever on the rise, it seems as though in the 80s and 90s, if there was a moderately successful franchise, you can almost guarantee there was an RPG tie-in. And given Japan's love for their adorable bow-donning white kitty, it should come as no surprise that the two crossed paths. But I can't help but find myself in disbelief that the sentence, "there's a Japan-only Hello Kitty RPG," is one I can utter truthfully. And the culmination of those ingredients is none other than... are you ready for this name? Kero Kero Keroppi no Bouken Nikki nemureru mori no keroleen. Which obviously never left Japan, and as you can see, never received a fan translation either. So why cover it? Because who else is gonna cover this extremely obscure Hello Kitty RPG other than a dumb idiot like me? Kero Kero Keroppi is exactly like you'd imagine. A cute, kid-friendly rendezvous of an RPG that prides itself more as baby's first RPG than it does a true role-playing experience. And by that, I mean everything about the game is extremely straightforward and easygoing. So much so that when I got settled in to play the game, I was shocked to see the credits roll a mere 2 hours later. Despite its short length, I can't say it doesn't encompass an adventure. You climb your way through Polo Mountain, trek through the spooky and whimsical fairy forest in an effort to save the Great Spirit Tree, descend into Lakeland to vanquish an evil monster to transform your friend back to their normal selves. By the way, I can't be the only one who gets Magicant vibes from this place. And for God's sakes, you even go to the one place
that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
And along the way, you'll happen upon some helpful friends who will tough out battles with you, all in an effort to save Keroppi's girlfriend, who has been captured.
Of course!
While Keroppi and company are running around doing tasks, they'll end up dealing with a handful of merciful creatures in battle. As you might imagine, the battles play out like they do in most RPGs, where you have your basic attacks to fend off foes, and some magic to turn the tides in your favor. Magic includes ancient, long, passed-down spells like Potato Chips, which is just a stand-in for Cure, Killer, which will boost attacks, and other such things like Paralysis and Burn. As I said earlier, it's all simple stuff. To make things even easier, you no longer have to grind to gain levels. Instead, there are predetermined points in the game where your characters will just power up. The graphics, while not mind-blowing, do an adequate job of capturing that simple Hello Kitty essence of the source material. But overall, I'd say they lack definition, and for a kids game, the colors seem rather dull. Not to say they don't conjure up some impressive sights from time to time, like the frozen wonderland that is the ice cavern, or the crystalline maze that is the quartz jungle, but they don't pop like one might expect. Take the battle screen, for example, with its drab green and brown frame. It just looks rather ugly and dreary. The game's music is much like the graphics. While the majority of the melodies and progressions elicit faint memories of past adventures on the console, other songs like the battle theme with its thumpy trumpet and awkward rhythm more than miss the mark. And there's nothing worse than a bad battle theme in an RPG. But as I said, the OST is more hit than miss, with a couple of standout tunes that set a good stage for your unexpected undertaking. From the simplistic battles, middle-of-the-road graphics and music, to the lightspeed story beats and character interactions that make Mystic Quest look like Final Fantasy VI, Kero Kero Keroppi is an all-around mediocre experience. Not that I really expected much of a Hello Kitty RPG, let alone one that's explicitly aimed at kids, but when compared to Mado Monogatari, another kid-friendly RPG I've covered on the channel, which is an excellent, whimsical, and charming game suitable for those well above its suggested age range, Kero Kero's flaws really start to shine. And it's a shame, as with a bit more depth and polish, I could see this game serving up a hearty adventure worth the time and effort of tracking down a copy, which are few and far between on eBay, but at the very least don't usually command very much. So, at the end of the day, Kero Kero Keroppi isn't exactly a game I would really recommend, as its baffling existence is far more interesting than the game found within its circuits. But if you must find out what it's like, much like a certain fool talking to you right now, then by all means give it a shot. Just be sure to follow the game fact written by the legendary walkthrougher of all untranslated SNES RPGs, Richie, to save yourself some trouble. And with that, I'll see you in the next episode. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this episode, consider checking out these other videos right here, or even subscribing. Also, if you'd like to throw me a couple of bucks, you can support the show on Patreon.